All right. Hey, y'all. It's about that time. I'm going to get right into it because I am supposed to be going live every day. I have a headache out of this world. As you can see, I am so barefaced and I just put on a shirt for the sake of this live. So I didn't want to break my commitment to going live every day, Monday through Friday. In October, so I am here. My name is Shanti Refuge. I am a certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, keynote speaker, and author. And I help women to release, heal, and live their best lives with guided journaling. If you don't know what guided journaling is you answering specific prompts pertaining to the topic that you're wanting to release, heal, and thrive from. It could be anything such as severe depression, anxiety, grief, self love, self awareness. You name the topic, I have the prompts for it. And if I don't, then I will create some for you. So, welcome, and we're going to get right into it. So, today we are talking about journaling for self compassion. Let's see. A lot of times we don't give ourselves any self compassion. So I'm going to talk about that. We give others more compassion than we give ourselves. So let's see. Where are my notes? They were here. Now I'm looking for them. Was it here? Was it here? I am in Houston, Texas. So thank you for watching from wherever you are. It is 3:11 p.m. Let's see. Where's my stuff? I just saw my notes. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm looking for my notes. I always have something together and then I'm always missing something. So if you are watching me, I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So give me a follow from wherever you are watching me from. Let's see. And tell me where you're from. I do talk back. Where in the hell is my notes? No, that ain't it. Let's see. That ain't it. Is this it? No, that's not it. I literally just had my. Sorry, y'all. Is this it? Bam, I found it. Okay, I found my notes. I'm ready to go now. So again, if y'all see me looking different ways, that's because I'm on different platforms and all of y'all are facing me. So self compassion is what we're talking about today. So self compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. Right, your friend comes to you, and with their "woe is me" story or something happened, and you offer them compassion. I'm sorry that's happened. Do you need to talk? Blah blah blah. Same thing you have to do for yourself. You should actually do it for yourself before you do it for others. That's why it's called self compassion. It is self compassion is very important during times of struggle when we are often our harshest critics. So, journaling can be a powerful tool to cultivate self compassion because it creates a safe space for you to reflect and speak to yourself gently. A lot of times we don't speak to ourselves gently when we are in experiences of trauma or something not good happening. We always tend to talk negatively to ourselves. So I am here to try to give you some tools to help you to stop doing that. You have to give yourself compassion. So it is very powerful by using specific prompts. You can foster a more nurturing relationship with yourself. So I'm going to go through some techniques with you and some real life examples to show you how journaling can help you embrace self compassion. If you did not know, first thing, if you've ever been to a therapist or if you've ever seen a coach, been working with a coach or a mentor or someone, have they ever asked you to write a letter to yourself? I know in my experience going to therapists, I've always been told write a letter to yourself. So that's one of the most effective ways to practice self compassion is to write a letter to yourself as if you were a dear friend. So I know for mine, I wrote a letter to my 14-year-old self. And because I felt like that was the point in my life where things started going downhill when I was 14. And that's when I became a teen mom. So you would write a letter to your self. And in that letter, you could imagine someone you love and care about is going through the same exact experience that you're going through. How would you respond to them? What words of comfort and support would you offer them? And then you would direct those same words of kindness towards yourself. The same words you would use towards your friend or whoever that's going through something, you use it towards yourself. And so in there, you could write a letter. Writing a letter to yourself is indeed journaling. And again, you can use the prompt, think about an experience. How would you respond to them in that experience? And what words of comfort and support would you offer that friend? Write yourself a letter, do it for yourself. So, for example, Samantha lost her job and she fell into this spiral of self blame, feeling like a failure. Of course, nobody feels good when they're let go from their job, especially if we've been there a long time. So, she started journaling. And how she did it, it was she imagined that a close friend was going through the same situation. So, her best friend, Becky, lost her job, started feeling like a failure. So she started journaling. So she wrote a letter of encouragement, reminding her friend that losing a job doesn't define someone's worth and that this moment is temporary. So writing this letter helped Samantha realize that she deserved the same kindness she would give to others. So that is a form of journaling, writing a letter to yourself for self compassion. Another tool, you can ask yourself, what do I need to hear right now? What if when you're in a difficult moment, it is easy to lose sight of compassion that you deserve. So a journaling prompt that can combat that is to ask, what do I need to hear right now? Then you will write down those words that you need to hear. The same words you will want your partner, a good friend, or whoever in your life that's close to you and know what you're going through. You want those words spoken to you, speak them to yourself. So you write down what it is you want to hear, those words of encouragement or validation or comfort. Write them down. And this process gives you the opportunity to be your own source of comfort and support, even when those feelings don't come naturally. So even if you don't mean those words, even if they don't come naturally when you're speaking to yourself, still write them down because those are the words that you want to hear. So, for example, Chris was dealing with the end of a long-term relationship. Him and his partner broke up, and he found himself stuck in negative self-talk, blaming himself, questioning his worth, and replaying every single mistake that he made in a relationship. But then he started journaling and he asked himself, what is it do I need to hear right now? And he wrote these words. I am worthy of love. I did my best. It's okay to feel hurt and confused. And so by him putting those thoughts into words, Carlos was able to give himself permission to feel vulnerable without judgment. It is so easy for us to judge ourselves, especially when someone breaks up with us and we don't see it coming. What did I do wrong? What didn't I do right? What could I have done to kept it? Blah, blah, blah. No, instead of doing that, you focus on the words that you need to hear and you focus on the positives because you are worthy of love. You did do your best if you did your best. And it is definitely okay to feel your feelings. Whatever feelings you're feeling, anger, resentment, hurt, whatever feeling you're feeling, it is okay to feel those feelings, especially in a breakup. So you have to give yourself permission to feel vulnerable without judging yourself. Because again, you're journaling and your journal is for you. It's for your benefit, not for anyone else's. Another tip you can use is reflect on the times that you have overcome struggles. We have all gone through millions of struggles. Some of them we have forgotten about because we jumped right over them and kept going, right? So this is a time to reflect. So another way to practice self-compassion, reflect on the moments in your life when you faced adversity or came out stronger from something you went through. and you acknowledge your resilience and strength that it carried you through tough times in the past, because it has. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to me. That means you made it through. So, this exercise not only builds self compassion, but it also helps you to develop a sense of pride and gratitude towards yourself for having survived hardships. For example, after being diagnosed with a chronic illness, Nina felt overwhelmed by her physical and emotional struggles. So she began journaling about previous challenges she had faced. She overcame her fear of being in public speaking. She overcame her fear of completing a degree. She went to college and got her master's degree, and it was hard. She wrote about that. So when you look back on your past achievements, that can remind you that you had the strength at that time to adapt and persevere. So even when you're facing new challenges, you can do the same thing, no matter how challenging or difficult it may seem. And so when you reflect on your past achievements, it can help you to be more, develop more patience and self-compassion as you navigate whatever it is you're going through. So thank you for those who are just coming in. My name is Shanti Refuge, and today I'm talking about self-compassion and how journaling helps you to develop some self-compassion. I talked about writing yourself a letter, asking yourself, what do you need to hear right now? Reflecting on times that you have overcome struggles. And now we're talking about turning our inner critic into an inner ally. So we all have an inner critic. If you don't, you lying. We all have that voice inside our head that points out our flaws, points out our failures. We all have it. But through journaling, you can start transforming that critical voice into an inner ally. So that's a voice that supports rather than condemns. So the next time you notice yourself giving yourself harsh self judgment, you write down what your inner critic is saying. So if you hear your inner critic, your thought, because our thoughts lie to us, they do. So if you hear your inner critic saying, "Girl, you don't need to eat that, you fat," write that down and then turn that around. So, for example, Chris again has a challenging work project, and he kept saying things in his head like, "You're not smart enough to do this. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fuck this up." But in his journal, he wrote those thoughts down, but then he reframed them. He reframed them into, "I am capable of learning, even if it doesn't go perfectly. I'm still valuable." So over time, this exercise helps Chris to soften his self judgment and respond to himself with more compassion. So for the person who has that inner critic saying, "Girl, you don't need to eat that," you can reframe that and say, "Girl, eat what you want, just don't overdo it. Eat what you like. Make sure you exercise, or make sure you do this, or take small bite or something to soften their inner critic, because the inner critic doesn't go away. They just show up in different forms and say different stuff. So you have to learn how to catch that inner critic and say, we're not doing that. We're doing this, and reframe it. But it's up to you to do that. You are in control of your thoughts, and you are going to learn how to be in control of your emotions if you are not already. So another one is to acknowledge your emotions. I don't know why I get tired on that word. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. So self-compassion means giving yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling, whether it's anger, sadness, fear, or frustration. You are allowed to feel those feelings. Don't judge yourself for them. And journaling can be an excellent space for you to learn how to not judge yourself. So instead of suppressing or avoiding uncomfortable emotions, you would use your journal to acknowledge them. Of course, a lot of us were brought up to suck it up, keep going, keep moving. You're built for this, you're strong, be the strong Black woman, be the strong woman, be the strong whatever. And those times are past. Those times are not relevant today. We have too much shit going on for us to not acknowledge our feelings. Because when you don't acknowledge your feelings, when you don't feel your feelings, guess what happens? You end up having a nervous breakdown, an emotional breakdown. And you don't ever want to have one of those. And I can attest to that because I had one in 2018. So that's why I be on here educating y'all about feeling your feelings, acknowledging your emotions, because that shit needs to come out. When you keep stuff buried, 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 just imagine a volcano. That volcano just boiling, filling up, filling up, filling up until it has nowhere else to go. And guess what? When you erupt, you are not going to be able to control whatever is coming out of you. And that's not a good thing. You always want to be in control of your emotions. And sometimes when you are triggered, or when something happens and you have held in all these emotions, you are going to erupt on the wrong person at the wrong time in the wrong place. And you don't want to do that. So journaling allows you to feel your feelings without judgment. So instead of suppressing or avoiding uncomfortable emotions, use your journal to acknowledge them. Write down what you're feeling in the moment, and don't label them bad or wrong. Just say what you're feeling and observe it with curiosity. So, like, for example, Taylor was struggling with guilt after getting into an argument with her partner. Her initial instinct was to push down her emotions and pretend like she didn't give a shit, but she really did. But she started journaling and she began to write about her guilt, her sadness, and her frustration. And instead of criticizing herself for feeling this way, she allowed herself to sit with her emotions and acknowledge them without trying to fix them. And this practice gave her the space to feel her emotions without getting stuck in shame or self blame. And that's one thing I know we as women do. When we have these feelings, we tend to feel guilty for having them. We are all human beings. We God gave us feelings. He gave us emotions. That's why we have them. And you are allowed to feel them without trying to fix them. There is nothing wrong with you for having feelings. Actually, there's something wrong with you if you don't have feelings. So, and journaling can help with that too. And lastly, practice gratitude toward yourself. When we practice gratitude by reflecting on what we appreciate about others or our surroundings, we rarely direct gratitude inward. So we always say we are, hey, how you doing? Thank you. We always say that we are, we're grateful for the air. We're grateful for waking up. We're grateful for the TV, the bed, whatever it is we say we're grateful for. But we never say, I am grateful for myself. And I know why, because I used to have the same reason. I felt it was selfish. Like, how can I be grateful for myself? But yes, you should be grateful for yourself. So when you're in your journal, you take a moment to reflect on the things you appreciate about yourself. It could be something small, like, I'm smart, I'm pretty, I'm fine. I handled this situation that happened yesterday better than I would have. Or think about the old me. The old me would have did this, but the new and healing me is doing this. That's showing gratitude to yourself, and that is perfectly okay. And I'm smiling because this is like a real life example for me. But I'll get into that later. So, for example, Jordan had a habit of being overly self critical, especially when it came to his work performance. So, to break this cycle, he started a gratitude practice in his journal where he wrote down 3 things he appreciated about himself every week. So, you don't have to journal every day. He did it every week. Like on Fridays or on Sundays, he wrote down everything he was grateful for about himself. And over time, he began to notice a shift in his mindset. He felt more at ease with himself, less focused on his perceived flaws, and more aware of his personal strengths. We all have flaws. Nobody's perfect. Nobody walking on this earth is perfect, no matter how much they try to portray that they are. They are not. So, is focus on your strengths. Just focus on your strengths. And, if you identify, when you identify that you have flaws, then you see how you can improve those. But again, you are never going to be 100%. You might be 99, 98, 97, 86, whatever, but you'll never be 100% unless you are God himself, and you are not. So another one is create affirmations for self-compassion. I love affirmations. I was saying yesterday on a live that I used to think that affirmations were witchcraft. I don't know why I thought that, But a lot of us like to put labels on things when we don't understand them. And that's exactly what I did. But once I got into researching affirmations and knowing their purpose, then I shot that stupid thought down. Like that is not witchcraft. Nothing wrong with saying affirmations. So affirmations can be a powerful way to nurture self-compassion. So what you would do is create a list of affirmations that speak directly to your current emotional needs, such as I am doing my best. It's okay to make mistakes. I am worthy of love and understanding. So when you are saying these affirmations, or writing them in your journal and reading them regularly, it can help you rewire your inner dialogue to become more loving and compassionate. I know a an affirmation that I use, well, affirmations that I use all the time, is I look in the mirror and I put my hand over my heart. You might have seen my past posts about it. I'm looking in the mirror and I put my hand on my heart and one on my belly, and I say, I thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you, and I just keep repeating that. And you all are welcome to take that one. So, for example, what else? Here's another example. Lena struggled with feeling inadequate, especially when it came to her being a mom. She had this vision of the type of mom she wanted to be, which was unrealistic. And she felt like she wasn't doing enough for her children despite putting in a lot of work. So she started using affirmations to speak over herself. So her affirmations were, I'm a good mother who loves her children deeply. It's okay to rest when I need to. And she would write these affirmations down, and she slowly began to shift her self perception and embrace a more compassionate view of herself. So, affirmations is a way to give yourself some compassion and speak positively over yourself instead of her saying, oh, I'm a horrible mother. I'm not Donna Reed, the lady who used to be on TV, or whatever, Claire Huxtable, because I just thought she was a perfect mom and I wanted her to be my mom so bad. But that was fictional, it wasn't reality. So write down those affirmations. I have been keeping an affirmation journal, actually a gratitude journal, starting January 1st of this year. See, 1/1/24. I've been keeping a gratitude journal, and I have been writing in it every day. Well, not every day, because apparently I missed 4 days, which I'm about to catch up on. But this says 10/4, so I need to catch up. Today is the what, 8th. I'm 4 days behind. Time gets away so quickly, but that is to keep my mindset on gratitude, to be grateful. So, in conclusion, for self journaling for self compassion is a deeply nurturing practice, and it allows you to meet yourself with kindness during times of struggle. So, whether you're writing letters to yourself, reframing your inner critic, or acknowledging your emotions without judgment, journaling is a powerful way to develop a more loving and supportive relationship with yourself. So when you incorporate these techniques into your life, it doesn't have to be every day. I mean, affirmations, I would say yes, say affirmations every day. Journaling, no, it does not have to be every day. You could do that, every other day, uh, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes before you go to bed, or whenever you feel like it. At least, once a week, at the minimum, once a week. And you could just like a recap of the week. But when you incorporate those techniques, you are creating a safe space to practice self-compassion, and in the long run fostering great resilience, self-love, and emotional well-being. So watch how your whole life changes once you start giving yourself some compassion. Not just saying you're going to do it, but actually doing it. And you will see how your life changes, because it really does. Let's see if I have any. Hey y'all, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. I'm going back and looking on my Instagram and Facebook and all of that to see if I have any comments. Let's see. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. And if you are commenting, I cannot see it right now. It won't let me see it until the end. But before I go, hey Treva, how you doing, honey? Before I go, I again want to tell you who I am. For those of you who are peeping in, my name is Shanti Refuge. I am a certified mental health coach, mental health advocate, keynote speaker, and author. And I show women how to release, heal, and live their best lives with guided journaling. I had my backstory is I had a nervous breakdown back in 2018. And of course, I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know I was having it. All I knew was that I needed help and I did not want to be put on meds because that's the first thing people want to give you. When I say people, I mean psychiatrists, doctors, or whoever. That's the first thing they want to give you when you want to get put on when you want help. They say, "Oh, here, take this antidepressant." I didn't want antidepressants. I wanted to see what was wrong. So it finally took me my third therapist to actually help me, and she helped me with guided journaling. And once I went through my healing process and was healed enough, I started creating my own line of guided journals. So if you go to my link in my bio or go to shantirefuge.com, you will see my collection of guided journals. I have guided journals for self esteem, self love, self awareness, self whatever, relationship breakups, couples trying to stay together, divorce, money, you name it, I have it. And they all have journal prompts in it. It helps you retrain the way you think because it all begins with your mindset. You have to change your mindset. And when that happens, your life changes. You have to change the way you think and see things. And basically, it's reprogramming your mind because you have to unlearn all that old stuff that people taught us and learn the new stuff that is relevant to today's society and to our lifestyles today because it's totally different than what it was back in the day. So, anyway, if you are in the Houston, Texas area, I am having an in person event. It is called Quiet is Kept. I had to go reach and get my book. It's called Quiet is Kept, an evening with Shanti Refuge. I am going to be live at um, Lit Java Coffee and Books in Pearland. And I am going to be talking about my book, Quiet is Kept, and I'm going to be talking about the events that led me to write the book, what happened in the book. If you haven't read it, this book talks about me from childhood up until 2018 when I had the nervous breakdown. So I talk about child abuse, I talk about being a teen mom, I talk about being arrested, I talk about getting married, I talk about all kind of stuff. All the family tea that nobody ever wants to talk about, I talk about it. And I talk about how I overcame it and how I got to where I am now to be able to tell my story. So if you are in the area November 2nd, I welcome you to come. If you go to shantirefuge.com or tap the link in my bio, you will be able to see the event. It's called Quiet is Kept, an evening with Shanti Refuge. And it's going to be hosted by my good friend, Robbie Reed, who is going to grill the hell out of me with Q&A. But I'm ready for it because pretty much an open book. I am an open book. And if you have any questions, then ask. My thing is be prepared for the answer because I'm going to answer you. So if you want the answer, ask the question. So that is my time. Thank you for joining. I appreciate those who came by. If it was by accident, whether it was on purpose, I appreciate you. You could have gone to anyone else's live, but you chose to stay here and listen to me. Thank you so much. And I will see you all on tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And if you're not following me, my name is Shanti Refuge Journals on all platforms. I'm on TikTok. Subscribe. Follow me there. Subscribe to my YouTube, Shanti Refuge Journals. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And go get a copy of my book. And if you are coming to the event, bring your book and I will be happy to sign it. So thank you again and have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.